Let's bring in Amber Athey, media and breaking news editor for the Daily Caller. So Republicans at least suspect that the FBI was essentially spying on the campaign or looking for dirt on the campaign before they had any interest in Russian election meddling?
Yeah, that's the allegation here, and I think the lawmakers are really trying to put pressure on Trump to declassify these documents so they can see exactly what was going on even before the Russian meddling claims. But really, when you look at this FISA warrant against Carter Page, it really lays claim to everything that Nunes said in his memo, which was that not only did they rely heavily on this Steele dossier that was unverified and paid for by the DNC, but they also didn't disclose that the DNC was the one paying for it. In that warrant, they said that Trump was named as candidate #1, but instead of ever saying that candidate #2 or political party #2 was paying for that dossier, they insisted that Steele couldn't have been biased because he was never told that he was supposed to be, which we know isn't true because he admitted to Bruce Orr that he actually hated Trump and never wanted to see him in office. So really, Republicans are trying to put the pressure on here to prove all of their claims all along, which is that the Russian investigation into Trump and all of the investigations are just basically a ploy to try to take out a sitting president.
And Republicans are saying that the FISA court judges did not get the full picture of the Steele dossier and where it came from, how it was paid for, and the political bias behind it.
You're exactly right. Like I said, Trump was named as candidate #1 in that FISA application. However, there was no mention that candidate #2 or political party #2, a.k.a. Hillary Clinton and the DNC, would have been the ones instructing Steele to create that dossier or paying for him to create it. So the FISA court was not aware that this was a political opposition document. And what's really interesting, too, is that Democrats are trying to say, well, you can tell from the application that the DNC was paying for it because of the way that Fusion GPS was mentioned, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you read through the claims, it's pretty clear that they made every effort to say that this was not a biased investigation or a biased document.
They also said that Fusion GPS had proven reliable and that they had used them in background investigations in the past. Democrats also like to say that, look, a number of the judges on this FISA court who approved these warrants had been appointed by Republican presidents. But if they're getting bad information or inaccurate information or not the complete picture, it can lead to incomplete conclusions and rulings from the bench.
Right. That's a completely bad faith argument. If the people on the FISA court are not aware of all the information required to make an informed decision about whether or not to grant a FISA warrant, then they can't really be held accountable for that decision. And now Republicans are putting the pressure on Rod Rosenstein, some even introducing articles of impeachment, saying that on top of failing to provide documents that the House has requested, he also was signing off on some of the FISA warrants against Carter Page. And so where are his involvements in this whole deal? And really, it's not those Republicans are going to have a hard time getting that through, especially in the Senate, but it will provide some political cover if Trump decides to take action against Rod Rosenstein.
Real quickly, I want to play something that Senator Lindsey Graham had to say about Michael Cohen, the president's former attorney, who seems to have changed sides. Listen.
I've never seen a lawyer behave this way in my entire life, and I've been a lawyer most of my adult life. When it comes to Michael Cohen, you should be very suspicious of anything he says. And this idea that he told Trump about the Russian meeting before it happened is, to us, very much new news. So, Mr. Cohen, if you got something new to say, you need to come to Congress and say it under oath.
Because that is a story that apparently he has not offered to Capitol Hill, Amber.
Not to mention, as the president noted in a tweet this morning, he was praising Donald Trump Jr.'s honesty during that meeting just back when it happened, and now he's quickly changed his tune. I think Lindsey Graham is right to say that we should be suspicious of Michael Cohen. For someone who is probably the most loyal person to the president to turn around and say that he was secretly recording his client, which it's probably not illegal, but it's certainly a very scummy thing to do. We should definitely be questioning his credibility and wondering why he's changing his tune now that he's under his own legal problems.
Amber Athey is with the Daily Caller. Amber, thank you.